Hello good people of YouTube, and welcome to my hobby channel. I just wanted to do a quick hobby update video today because Baldwin, the Pious here, is being released. So at the current time it is about midday on Sunday the 29th of December. I hope you all had a good festive break. I've been busy painting giants, and to celebrate the fact that Ainsty Castings are now releasing a resin version of Baldwin here. This is my prototype, which if you've seen my previous videos you will know I sculpted as a one-off model, and because Baldwin was so popular with the people who saw him, I sculpted him again so that he could go into production. Well, today's the day. Within the next couple of hours from the time that I upload this video, Baldwin will be available on the Battleforge website, and I think the first 10 orders are going to benefit from a discount where you'll get all the 6 different heads that I sculpted. Now, I don't have those to show you anymore because they've gone off to Ainsty Castings, who now own the model. And I did 6 different heads. You can see those in some of my previous videos. There's also stuff on social media, but the prototype I gave a magnetic hairstyle to. So the heads that I can show you are the ones that I've got here on the prototype. So you will get a bald head like this as one head option. You will get a head with a pineapple ponytail like the magnetic hairdo I've done there. For Baldwin, you will of course get the pudding bowl haircut that Baldwin is now famous for, and then I've done a Mohican spiked hairdo. I've done Baldwin in a hat, and I've also done a bearded giant head, which is a sort of a tribute to the old Marauder giant that I still have somewhere. But anyway, today Baldwin is going live on the battleforge.co.uk website. If you miss out on the initial deal, he will be available at a regular sort of retail price. I think that's probably going to be £150 from what Ainsty have said. The first 10 orders will get Baldwin with all 6 heads for £100, but Baldwin is also going to be available as a bundle deal, where if you buy Baldwin the Pious here, you will also get the original Battleforge Imperial Giant, which is now I think just the Battleforge Giant, and I think it came originally with that head and this head, which is why I've got 2 painted versions here to show you. So you'll get the original giant with 2 heads and Baldwin for a grand total of £200 plus shipping. That is as far as I understand it. As I said, Baldwin and these giants are owned by Ainsty now, so it's down to Ainsty Castings how they package them and how they sell them, but I did want to let you guys know in a very short 5-minute video. Now, I have been busy over the festive break. I had a very low-key Christmas. Didn't do much, didn't eat too much food, didn't really spend a lot of time with family or friends, just had a quiet evening in on Christmas Day, and the rest of the time I've been busy painting. And I just wanted to quickly show you these giants that I've got here, because there's some news associated with these as well. Now, this giant is, again, this giant is owned by Ainsty Castings. I sculpted this a long time ago, but never got round to painting him. He was actually sculpted before I sculpted the Imperial Giant, but the Imperial Giant ended up going into production first. Well, Ainsty made the molds for this body here, and the heads are all interchangeable, so I can show you now. I've magnetized these, that the giant bodies were created to take all the different heads. There we go. So that's the same giant body there, with a sort of Viking head, and of course that head fits the Imperial Giant as well. So there are 10 heads in total, and now there are 2 giant bodies. So I've just painted this so I can take some product shots and give those to Ainsley to put on the Battleforge website. So at some point in January 2025, in the next couple of weeks, this version of a giant will also be going up on the Battleforge website. And as I said, this has been in existence for a long time. I'm trying to think when I sculpted it, but it's probably 20 years old, and has never been released. So there's that giant to come in January. Baldwin is going up live on the website this afternoon at a discount price, as I understand, for £100 for the first 10 people who purchase him, and you'll get all 6 heads. Or you can have a Baldwin bundle with one of the Imperial Giants there. I said I've painted up 2 so I can show the different heads that are available. So you can own Baldwin and one of my Imperial Giants for 200 quid plus shipping if you want to. And the other thing that I've been doing, just very quickly, is this is the second giant that I ever sculpted back in 2002. So this model is 22 years old. At the time I was trying to create a giant that sort of resonated with the old pre-Slaughter vibe, the frost giants, the hill giants and things, and the Norse giants that Ral Partha used to create. I've got 1 or 2 from the late 70s and early 80s that were very inspirational miniatures, and at the time I sculpted this giant here. He did make an appearance, I think, on a battlefield at Salute, painted up like a ghost shortly after I'd sculpted him. And then I became a bit disillusioned with him, and he ended up in the bottom of a junk box, falling apart and breaking to pieces. So over Christmas, I took the time to glue him back together and restore him. Now this is a one-off sculpt, but I may actually do a commemorative resculpt, if you like, of this giant, depending on how popular he is. But this is my Norse giant, and this is only the second giant that I ever sculpted when I was learning how to sculpt miniatures. It's a bit goofy in places, but I am kind of proud of him because he represents a very early step in the journey that brought me to the point where I could sculpt giants like Baldwin here, which I am pleased with. There's a lot of time and effort went into Baldwin, and this is basically one of his ancestors. You can see from the victim he has in his hand there that my sculpting techniques have hopefully improved. That's not a particularly convincing face. And also this particular victim is missing a shoe and a hand. I haven't restored those yet because I'm going to do a quick sculpting video on how to sculpt a 28mm hand, and I will pin it and glue it back in there. So that will be a future video. But anyway, I'm conscious of the time, and I've been chatting for a while just so that you can appreciate the scale of these miniatures. I call them miniatures, but they're not really. I've also finished painting the very well-known Games Workshop Running Man, which I think could also be kept in a cage. That comes from the plastic, the original Warhammer plastic giant, which is now called something different, and you can buy this in a box set for Age of Sigmar. But I painted him up just to demonstrate the scale that my giants are and have been for a long time. I'll put him there, for example. So most of my giant sculpts here are about the size of an Action Man or a G.I. Joe, depending on which side of the pond you're on. But you can see, I think in scale terms, they're roughly coming in at sort of 250 to 280 mil, which would make them anything between sort of, I guess, 60, 65, maybe even 70 feet tall. Assuming that this chap here is a 6 foot tall human, then these giants would be towering in at a scale height of about 60 feet. And finally, For anyone who isn't familiar with some of the smaller stuff that I sculpt, this is an old Imperial Halfling that I did. You can still buy these off the Battleforge website, but again, I pulled this one out so that you can appreciate the size of Baldwin and his friends when compared to a Halfling. So I have just put a pre-order in for my Empire battalion box and a few extra bits. I'm expecting to get hold of some Old World Empire of Man goodies sometime in January, and I will be doing an unboxing and a review of those on my hobby channel. I may also sculpt an Empire Giant with some kind of great sword to keep Baldwin company, because Baldwin did have a very distinctive kind of Bretonian medieval vibe. That's what I was after with him, and I think once I get my hand on some Old World Empire miniatures, I will probably want to do the same. The only other thing that I want to show you is Baldwin's friend here. I've given him a Zenithal Prime, and he was affectionately known as Henri le Massive. I may sculpt him again so that he can be produced in resin. It depends how popular he may or may not be once he's painted, but I'm going to call this guy Henri le Grand. So I've got Henri le Grand to paint in January, so that I can field him with Baldwin the Pious in my Old World Bretonian army. And as I said, I might do some kind of Empire Giant to go along with these more modern sculpts. But for anyone who's interested in the giants that I've sculpted, and you want to get hold of your own version, then as I said, at some point today, maybe even now, by the time you're watching this video, Baldwin will be going live on the Battleforge website. As I said, I'm just spreading the word on behalf of Ainsley. I'm not affiliated with Ainsley in any way, other than they bought my miniatures and they are now the custodians of the stuff that I've sculpted. And obviously they own the Battleforge business. So Baldwin is going live today. In January, you'll be able to get hold of this other old mountain or hill giant that I sculpted. I may do a commemorative sculpt of this giant later in 2025, depending on how I feel. And also, if you want to buy Baldwin and the original Imperial Giant that I sculpted, you can get those in a bundle deal, both giants for 200 quid. So as I said, I've got some Henri le Grand here to paint, and I've also got some of the other heads for the old giants to paint. There are 10 heads available. There are lots of different weapon arms. I've just dug up a box of some old masters, which I've passed on to Ainsley, of some different hands and arms. So again, in 2025, I'll be helping them expand the variety of heads and weapon hands that are available. So that's it really. I probably won't do another video before the beginning of 2025. So I hope you found this this video useful, interesting, inspiring. I will be doing more hobby videos in 2025 and doing lots more sculpting and painting. I just needed to take some time out over the Christmas break to focus on my own kind of mental health. And yeah, having said that, I hope you all had a good festive break, whatever your faith or religion. And I wish you all the best for 2025. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.